The championship story between the Berlin Eagles and the Hamburg Giants now enters into a new phase as we get ready for the second round of Global Champions League action in Madrid. And what a disappointing weekend for a handful of really top teams, because Paris Panthers, Shanghai Swans, Madrid in Motion, the hosts, and Falcons United, your defending champions, all finishing on scores of 12 and 16. And Istanbul Sultans giving away a golden opportunity to make up ground on the Scandinavian Vikings, who find themselves at the bottom of the table with a dreadful score of 20. It has been tough going for many in Madrid, but not for everyone. Let's open up with the Berlin Eagles. Of course, as it stands now, your provisional leaders going into the second round of GCL in Madrid, and already level on points on the championship standings. Today was an opportunity for them to make up real ground, especially bearing in mind the fact that the Hamburg Giants struggled somewhat with scores of 4 and 4 for both men. For the Berlin Eagles, it was a very different story. Christian Kuckuck and Checker coming home clear. Philipp Wiesout and Kobe coming home clear, delivering only the second double clear of the day to ensure that they finish in first place, pole position, and on top of the provisional standings thus far. And as we mentioned, being on double clear, Hamburg Giants on 8. Well, the top two teams in the championship standings. This does mean that there might be some major ground to be made up for the Berlin Eagles, who, if they continue that great form going into that second round, could well become the new championship leaders come the end of the weekend. We caught up with Philipp Wiesout at the end of his round.
We had 2 good rounds. Christian's horse jumped very good, Checker, and my horse, like most of the time, Kobe, jumped very good. I was the first 3 months of the year in Wellington, so I couldn't do any of the global tours. But now I'm here on one of my favorite shows in Madrid. I really like it here, and yeah, my horse showed last year many clear rounds. So I'm happy he's still in form, and yeah, it's fun to ride him.
So everything is set for the podium, right?
No, we have to jump 2 more clear rounds first for tomorrow, and then we have a good party.
So not getting ahead of themselves just yet, although they know that the podium is in sight. But there will be some teams that will be competing with them for that podium, because they were not the only double clear of the weekend. That other right belongs to the Rome Gladiators, who were the very first team out the gate. It's not very often that a weekend of Global Champions League action begins with the very first team delivering perhaps a somewhat surprising double clear. Peter Clemens on crescendo first out the gate for his team, and getting us underway for the weekend with a fabulous clear. That then followed by FMS, Fernando Martinez Sommer, who then followed on Cole Bucket, and he too delivered a clear, making many think that, well, this Madrid ground was going to be easy to conquer. High scores of 8, 12, 8, 8, 16s and 20s followed, proving otherwise, making this double clear from the Rome Gladiators even that much more impressive. They find themselves in second place going into round 2 of the GCL, and will know that with just the Berlin Eagles ahead of them, a really good performance tomorrow on Super Saturday could see them move up the leaderboard quite extensively. We caught up with Peter Clemens following his performance today.
I just wanted to go a short way everywhere and try to stay clear. It's also first time a horse jumps a competition like this. So I'm very proud of him. He did very well. Fernando's horse jumped great. We're in a good position. So yeah, very happy.
So can you tell me more about how important the balance was during this course, keeping the balance, etc.?
It was very important because there was a few lines. We had to open up a little bit, and they had to sit back on their hocks to make sure that they clear the fences. If you open your horse up once too much, it's very likely to have a fence down. And we managed that well today, so good.
So no changes for the second round, I guess?
We're going to discuss with the team manager, and then we go from there.
So Berlin Eagles in first place on a double clear, Rome Gladiators in second place on a double clear, and a really good strong performance as well from the Prague Lions. Brian Mogri and Sergio Alvarez Moya both delivering very strong rounds to make sure that the Prague Lions as well are involved in that conversation come the latter parts of tomorrow's GCL action. Brian Mowgli was the first man out for his team. And what an impressive clear being delivered by this incredibly impressive rider. A lot being said about Brian Mowgli at the start of the season. Pre-season, we were all raving about him being overseen by Peter de Vos, and a round of applause from him, Sergio Alvarez Moya. If I'm not mistaken, first fence going down as well here. What a disaster start for him and Alamo. Good to see the pairing back in action for the GCL. The former LGCT winner from 2021, delivering a 4 for his team. That keeps Prague Lions very much in the conversation. They are on 4, just behind the 2 double clears of the Rome Gladiators and the Berlin Eagles. They will fancy themselves ahead of that second round because they will know that there are faults in this course. It has been designed by Santiago Varela, and by the looks of things, already on day one, it has been very, very difficult to overcome for the majority of the team. So the Prague Lions will know that there will be faults everywhere, and that could well include Berlin Eagles and the Rome Gladiators. So an opportunity for Prague Lions to make up some valuable ground on the championship standings as well. Speaking of the championship standings, Hamburg Giants, your current championship leaders, not having the easiest day at the office, I'm afraid. They would have wanted to continue that Miami Beach form, but unfortunately for Bart Bless and Simon de Lestre, scores of 4 and 4 meant that they came home in 8, and because of that, saw them fall down the provisional standings. Now they find themselves in 10th place, not the round that Bart Bless and Simon de Lestre would have wanted. Again, at the moment, that time when they came out provisionally second, that moved all the way down to 10th place come the end of the round. Monaim Dunny, team manager, spoke to GCTV following that performance.
It's not the result that we were expecting today to start the day off with.
So can you please tell me what happened?
Bart, I think, made a nice 6 to the plank, but he stayed a little bit, I think, maybe a touch too strong in his hand, and the horse couldn't finish behind, and he had the plank shamefully. It was a cheap rub, and just as Simon de Lestre on the fence number 3, it was also a cheap rail, which shouldn't have been made actually. It means that they have to do better tomorrow. We have the team discussion later, see what we do tomorrow, if the same riders jump or not, and try to do better, try to keep a clean sheet tomorrow. The plan would be to jump long jump tomorrow in the team, and going to discuss later with Bart and Jur and Simon who they want to jump tomorrow. And then we decide as a team what's the best.
So overall conclusion?
Not good.
The overall conclusion, not good from the Hamburg Giants. Well, Frederick de Backer joins us live from Madrid. And from a championship story perspective, Frederick, what an interesting weekend. Berlin Eagles have a golden opportunity to cash in on not a good performance from the Hamburg Giants. Where did it go wrong for the current championship leaders today?
I think Monaim Dunny perfectly explained what happened, and with those 2 fences down, 1 fence each, it's costly, especially if your rivals do so well. If you look at, for example, Madrid in Motion, they don't perform well. They're not going to challenge Hamburg Giants, and I don't think that Stockholm Hearts are going to challenge Hamburg Giants, but their direct rivals, Berlin Eagles, come out with a double clear. And if you're not performing well, you want your rivals not to perform well, just like you. But if they come out with a double clear, one of the few double clears in this class, then you know you're in trouble.
And no Luca Beerbam, no problem for the Berlin Eagles. Completely interchangeable, superb performance from what could be our new championship leaders come the end of the weekend. They were great today, weren't they?
Outstanding, and it shows how dangerous that Berlin Eagles just might be in terms of depth of horses, depth of riders, horses per rider. It's very impressive from the Berlin Eagles just to keep producing those clears, and they don't make much wave, they don't say a lot, they don't do a lot, but they just produce those clears after clear after clear, whether it's Weiss or it's Kukuk, or it's Beerbam, or it's Kobe, or it's Mila, or it's Checker, or it's Mumbai. Doesn't really matter. They just keep producing the clears. If they can keep doing this through the season, they'll be right on top. And I think they will be on top already after round 2, after stage 4 here in Madrid.
And Frederick, a couple of weeks ago on The Insider, we spoke about a new look Big Four, a new look traditional 4 as far as GCL is concerned. And it was not a good weekend for the majority of those so-called traditional teams, because Paris Panthers, Shanghai Swans, Madrid in Motion, Volkswagen United, scores of 12s and 16s. This Madrid course was far harder than Rome Gladiators and Berlin Eagles made it look, didn't it?
Absolutely, and I was a little bit worried when I saw Rome Gladiators go, you know, with Korbakker, who is a very good horse, but then with Crescendo, who is a very inexperienced horse of Peter Clemens. You thought, oh, this is going to be a walkover. What's going to happen here? And then all of a sudden it started piling up in the triple combination, in the plank, the line to the double, and then some other fences that in the end turned out to be difficult as well. Fence 4, fence 3. So Varela had it well spread. He had the focus on the triple combination and the final fence, and as well that line that we discussed, was it 7, 8, 9A, 9B? But I knew that we were going to get faults, but not in this way or in this quantity. Now, what does stand out for me, what is remarkable, is that we do have a lot of teams that have jumped one clear, but then they don't have it backed up by a second clear, and not even by just 4. I'm thinking of Valkenswaard United clear, and what was it, 12 of Maurice Tebbel. I'm thinking of what other team came out with clear, and then a bigger score of their second rider. So it's remarkable on how we can change Scandinavian Vikings. Ooh, what a horrible round that was. And I don't think Yuri rode a bad round. I think it was just bad luck. It's a young horse. He's 10 years young there. Umberto As comes out with 20. Has the first fence down. Yuri doesn't mind it too much. Keeps going. Keeps it a smooth and nice round to keep building the confidence of that horse. It's a very good horse. It's a bigger course that we normally see for GCL round 1. Apparently, that's what you also hear from the other riders. And then all of a sudden, he has one fence too many down, and it really faces him. And he really gets distracted, and then all of a sudden, it's boom, boom, boom. And you're on 20, and from a potential double clear, you're way lost. You're already second last on the championship. Istanbul Sultans didn't do so bad. They're on 12. That's not a perfect first round, but it is good if you compare it to the round of Scandinavian Vikings. If Istanbul Sultans want to climb, they have to climb place by place and have to take team by team. And this is a great weekend for the Sultans to overtake Scandinavian Vikings, get away from the last place. But it just shows that one clear is not enough.
The window for the Sultans. Frederick, just stay with me for a moment. We quickly want to just get some reaction from Rob Hoekstra, the manager of Paris Panthers, following that pretty devastating round of 16 overall. Let's hear from the Paris Panthers manager.
Rob Hoekstra, manager of Paris Panthers. What can I say?
Yeah, I don't know what to say myself, really, to be quite honest. I mean, we've been quite good in first rounds and we struggled in the second rounds, but obviously today was disappointing. Okay, Harry had a relatively inexperienced horse in there and he did okay, but it's not going to help us much where we're in the position we're in. Yeah, and Darren's horse jumped a good round, came into combination too big, and obviously had 2 parts of that. So yeah, not a good result for us.
So what made the mistake for Derek, like in the last line? What happened?
Well, he went on 7 strides in the line before, which probably would have been a better 8, just to set the horse up a little bit. So he went for the 7, got a little bit forward, and then stayed a bit forward into the combination, and had the first 2 parts.
So next, second round, what's it going to be? Because there's a lot of pressure.
Well, it's a long way back. There's not really a lot of pressure now. I mean, we're going to jump 2 clear rounds and see where we finish. But with 16 faults, you're not going to win it. That's for sure.
Somewhat of a smile still on the face of Rob Hoekstra, but you get the impression that things are quickly falling apart for the Paris Panthers, who were meant to be one of the big championship contenders. Frederick, just get some reaction from you. Harry Smulders coming home in 8. Many thinking Derek Kenny, well, he'll deliver a clear on Great Tequila J. 8 for him. All the talk and the build-up was to stay calm, there's no need to panic. I want to ask, is there a time to panic just yet, and is it now?
My answer is yes. And I think it's not too late to panic, but you have to be really worried. And I don't know what the solution is. In commentary, I said, is this the right time to bring in an inexperienced horse? You hear Rob Hoekstra say, yeah, the horse is a little bit inexperienced. I think we all knew that ahead of this first round of GCL. And again, in this bizarre way, he's right, because yes, this team is going to win stages. And again, they will finish 4th, 5th, 3rd in the championship. They have that still that potential. But to be really championship contenders, I'm afraid it's they have to burn so much fuel to catch up with the leaders, and they have to count on a lack of performance from the leaders to catch up with them. That I don't know how much fuel they will have left by the end of the season. So. Yeah, I'm not really the panicking kind of guy, but if I were team manager of that team, ooh, I wouldn't sleep well.
Frederick, two final questions from me. One, just around Lily Keenan, and what a strong performance it was from her, really raising her hand for the Stockholm Hearts. And after a difficult 8 from Malin Baard-Jonsson, talk to me about that round from Lily Keenan, what it means for her and for the team going forward out of Madrid.
Sometimes you wonder if you're a debutant, if it's your first round for a team, how does it feel? Do you feel pressure, or do you have no idea what this is about? And maybe Lily Keenan just rode it like any other ordinary round, not thinking about that it's Stockholm Hearts, not really in the zone of I'm riding on a team that is battling for the championship, just riding it as I have to produce a result for my team. And I think that's what she did, and that was really strong, especially after the surprising 2 fences down of H&M Indiana and Malin Baard-Jonsson in the triple combination and on that final fence. Normally you'd think, oh, that would give you a little bit of a shock. You see Malin go round, one of the best riders and horse combinations in the world. You see them go round, and then all of a sudden it falls apart in the last and second last fence, in the last line. Maybe it would phase you, it would scare you, but not to Lily Keenan. Just kept her head cool, kept her head down, and went for it. Really impressive.
My final question to you, Freddie, just that final line, that triple combination, Santiago Varela really testing the riders. What was your take on that final line from the course designer this weekend? It was a smart placement, wasn't it?
It's so funny. With stand-ups and everything, I don't always have the chance to really walk the course in depth. So you walk the third last fence, the vertical, and you straight away, you cut the corner and you go to the triple combination. You look at the height and at the width and the distance in between, and you I didn't really look at the approach. And there were so many different approaches in terms of pace, in terms of distance, the turn before, how far did they go, how tight did they come in, they had a lot of pace, did they come in slow? So there were a lot of different options, and that's really smart of Varela. It was not on a dogleg or in a straight line, it was just a single standing triple combination, but it was out of a 180 turn, and that was really interesting. And now with Varela building this course, with Peter Grant out in Mexico, we see different courses, different approaches, different concepts, and it's really inspiring. It's really interesting to well, I was going to say walk it, but because I didn't walk that line, but to see it and to look at those courses and how it affects those riders.
Well, it was very smart work indeed from Santiago Varela, our course designer this weekend. Frederick De Backer, we will let you go, sir. Thank you for your time. We will see you tomorrow for Super Saturday.
Welcome.
There we go. Frederick De Backer will be back with us again tomorrow for Super Saturday, the second round of GCL, and of course the LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid as well. All live from the Club Campo de Villa in Madrid. Let's show you the table and just remind you as to how things stand now. Berlin Eagles and Rome Gladiators, as we mentioned, on double clear. Then 3 teams on 4. The Prague Lions, London Knights. Good round from them as well, by the way. And Can Stars really standing up. Saint-Tropez Pirates, Miami Celtics and New York Empire finding themselves on 8. And then the scores got very big and very messy the further you went down. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, again struggling on 8. Hamburg Giants, your championship leaders, on 8. Shanghai Swans, your runners-up, on 12. Falkensvaart United, your defending champions, on 12. Paris Panthers, potential championship rivals, on 16. Madrid in Motion, top 3, on 16. It got very difficult in Madrid. And how much more difficult will it get tomorrow for the second round? Stay with us here on GCTV. Please do join us again for Super Saturday for the second round of GCL and for the LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid. It's all coming your way tomorrow. Stay with us and best of luck to the rest of the teams competing. We'll see you again here on GCTV. Good night.